about their project and what's ahead. This is the roadmap. Hey guys, yeah, as you heard me say, the roadmap, Benzinga's new NFT show, airing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We've had some amazing interviews with some big teams, and we have another one coming today. Let me bring on my co-host, Maz. Maz, it's been a long time, but it's great to see you, buddy.
What's up, Chris? We're back, man. It's been forever. It's been forever.
It has. No shows last week, but the big news, of course, we're expanding. We've got 3 shows this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we've got some big interviews this week. And I mean, Maz, we've talked to some great teams, some projects with some big followings. And of course, today we have SVS on, and they have a huge community, right? I mean, we're talking 45,000 followers on Twitter, over 38,000 in their Discord. Looking forward to SVS today as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a big fan of their project. I know we talked about it. We mentioned it before they minted out, how big the project could be. So it's great to see it come along in the last couple of weeks or so. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this interview. I'm excited to be back. Let's get NFTs back and running, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a big one to talk about, but yeah, we have seen NFTs pull back a little bit, which we'll get into later with our news and headlines. Also, I do see a comment in the chat from Randall about my mic. Thank you. I did just fix it, so it should sound better. I switched over to the right mic, so we should be good to go. Before we bring on the team from SVS, I know that our team made a trailer for today's episode. So let's go ahead. Let's roll that trailer.
I love these. Let's go. These always get me hyped up, man.
Oh, man. I mean, what a great way to get into an interview, right? Then that teaser trailer there. Shout out to Katje, our developer, creating these trailers. Another great one. Well, let's go ahead. Let's bring on the team. So joining us on the show today, we have Woof, the lead developer, and we have Mig, the artist behind SVS, and also an artist from Bored Ape Yacht Club and Hall of Fame Ghost. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's going on, sirs?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's great to be here.
Of course. I mean, what a cool project. We've been talking about this one for a while. We talked about it with our Halloween NFT focus show once before. We got vampires. Now we got bats. So we got a lot to get into, and of course, get into, what's ahead, right? We're always looking forward to the roadmap. After all, it is the name of our show. But before we get into SVS, just wondering, if Woof and Mig, if you guys can give us, your history in the NFT space prior to this project. I'll start with you, Woof.
Well, personally, my introduction to NFTs is it's been a while actually, but I've never made my own project. But I've been involved in development with software program and stuff like that for a decade now. Crypto since 2014, but I've always had this interest in Solidity and decentralized programming, because it's like this whole new experience, because you have to make sure everything's secure, everything can be exploited, stuff like that. So yeah, I've been buying NFTs like a while now, just messing around with them, and personally, I think it's more than just art. I've also developed a ticketing system, for example, with NFTs. So I think NFTs can be just more than art, and that's something I really want to go for.
Perfect. And Mig, we know you as an artist for Bored Ape Yacht Club and Hall of Fame Goat. can you tell us, what was your experience with NFTs before those projects, and then talk about creating the art for those projects prior to SVS?
So prior to BC, I didn't even know what an NFT was. I've been a freelance illustrator for most of my life, so almost 20 years now. But yeah, I had no idea what an NFT was. I didn't know anything about crypto. So it was only after BC started really taking off that I delved into it and started reading up on NFTs. And yeah, it just, it kind of boggles the mind how quickly things develop in the NFT space. And yeah, I guess so creating the artwork, it's SVS is pretty much the first project I worked on, NFT project I worked on, where I had the most control over what's being presented. I mean, the guys came to me with a list of traits, and they just told me to do whatever I, just go wild. They really didn't want to, just hold me back. They just wanted me to go crazy with my imagination, and yeah, that's what I came up with. But with Goat Lodge and BC, I was under more direction there. So yeah.
Awesome. So Woof, talk to us, how did the idea of SVS come to be, and how were you able to bring well-known artists like Mig onto the team?
So initially the idea was to create an NFT. Well, we didn't have the idea to create an NFT, but the other team members are friends of mine for a couple of years already. And one of them introduced me to Mig and like the whole group. And then we, because we were thinking of making something crypto anyway, like a project, and we like building. Like everyone in my friend group is like they have already had jobs in different businesses, different niches, stuff like that, like community management. Of course, development. We have 2 developers and a UX designer, like a full-blown team. Like we've known them for years already. And then we got introduced to Mig. Of course, he's a great artist with a great track record. So we thought, oh, that's a perfect combo with the team we have to create something special. And what Mig said, that he had full control over the creative aspect, that's something we really wanted to keep, because we didn't want to limit his creativity, for example. So that was one of our main key points to focus on, to just give Mig every possibility he wants to. And then he gave us like a couple sketches in the beginning, and we selected the one we all liked the most, and that's how we started, basically.
Perfect. So Mig, I mean, you touched on the artwork a little bit, and having more control versus prior projects you were on. Talk to us about the inspiration, the artwork here. Is this something that came to you immediately? Was it a trial and error process? How many different variations of the vampire did you come up with?
I came up with about 12 different vampires that are presented to the team, and eventually settled on the one that you see now. But the inspiration for it, I guess Bruce Timm is a huge inspiration. He's the guy who created the Batman animated series in the 90s. So basically just a goofy looking vampire that you would that goes well with like a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah, that's something goofy, not too serious, and hopefully something that appeals to a lot of people.
Love that. So there was an SVS and 88 collab that launched on Monday for 888 holders and SVS holders. Can you guys tell us a little bit more about that? How the project came to be, and I know there's like a staking or burning mechanism behind it as well.
So yeah, 888 is we've been talking to him for a while, and he's invested in our project. He also has a honor. He's like a good friend of ours, you can say. Yeah, so the idea between the collaboration with 888 is that we've dropped an unique piece of art by Mig, and it's basically the sort of vampire model we use for our profile pictures, but then also with a little bit of 888 style with it. So he's like all about this magic stuff, like therapeutic stuff, like angel, like 888 stuff like that. And then we basically made it so you can claim one of these per SVS token you hold and 888 Genesis token. And then we added a gamifying aspect where you can burn 2 of them to go to the next tier. And then there's rewards for the 7 and 8. So that's the entire collaboration. It's basically we bond 2 communities together this way because they have to work together to get the 128.
Love that. And if you get the 128, what is the reward? I think it's a 1-of-1 drawing, if I'm correct. Or can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so the rewards is you basically get whitelisted for next generation. Also you get access for the first 8 to the top tier. I think it's that, and then you get access to the 888 Genesis group, like his inner circle group, where you get all his collaborations. Like you can get them for free, and then also the 1-of-1. Yeah, that, I think. And did we have something else? Yeah, I think that was it. The 1-of-1, whitelist, and access to his Genesis inner circle.
Love that. Yeah, so I'm in the 888 Discord, and I saw that a couple of people from the SVS, they joined forces to be able to get the 128. So that's cool to see the community come together and, do that.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we want to do because community is one of our biggest key points as well.
Love that. So Halloween just was over. So there was a contest derivative, right? So can you guys tell us a little bit more about some of your favorite derivatives that you saw of the SVS drawings?
Mig, you picked those, right?
Yeah, I picked some of them. This one,
cool.
We really love this one. I mean, most of the competitions we've had have been just drawings, but this was special because it was a 3D sculpture by one of our community members, and we really love the effort that she took to bring this to life. Looked great, and the one to the left, it just, as an artist, I can see how much time and effort he put into this, and he had so many references. He had, I think, about 20 movie references in the actual picture, so it had to be in there. It had to be a winner for us.
Yeah, that one's sick. Look at that. You got the little clown in the background. That's awesome.
Yep.
How does it feel to see, a lot of, the community drawing, these pieces to you as an artist, Migs?
It's pretty mind-blowing sometimes to think that people are doing all these derivatives of something I've created. It always puts a smile on my face, no matter how little effort went into it or how much effort. I get a kick out of it for sure.
That's awesome. So I was looking and I saw that you can stake your vampires and then you get the blood token. Can you guys tell us a little bit more about blood token, the utility behind it, and how it benefits the SVS community?
Yeah, so the blood token will be purely used for utility, like it's in our ecosystem, right? So, for example, on our next generation, we're going to introduce a breeding aspect. Well, we kind of call it breeding as that's the process of putting 2 and 2 together and then getting something out of it, but it won't be exactly that. So blood will be heavily used there. We'll have like an increasing cost whenever you breed with one which is already bred, so it will go up in like usage. And then we also plan to have more in real life collaborations with blood, so you get access to that item in a physical item with blood. So we have one collaboration running right now, which is in progress. It takes a while to actually produce, but that's we've partnered with one of the biggest champagne creators, or like most famous ones, like really good at it, stuff like that, like skilled. And we'll be giving access to that champagne through blood. So
no way.
That's one of the things we want to provide. We're also looking to do like merge for like blood. You can get some merge for free if you just use the blood token to claim it, for example.
That's awesome. So I can essentially exchange my blood token from staking to get wine or apparel in the future.
Yeah, for example, yeah, we're looking to do more physical collaborations. We already have some stuff lined up, which will be in the later months.
That's a
Hopefully.
great idea. Love that. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that recently launched was you guys also did the bat. So we have Sneaky Bat. This was a free mint for anyone who owned SVS. Wolf, I'll start with you. Why was it important to do, a free mint here for holders of SVS?
Well, I think we shouldn't charge any holder who has already bought an SVS or invested in the project. I think it's fair to do a free companion drop, because that was on our roadmap always, and it's a great way to give everyone another rare or not so rare common piece of Meg's art. And it's just fun to do, right, Meg?
Oh yeah, tons of fun.
Meg, talk to us about the artwork here, right? So not only did you get to develop the vampire, but you also got to develop this bat. Walk us through the process here on, this cool free companion drop.
I just wanted to create a sort of minion or sidekick for the vampire. Yeah, I went through a few sketches to get it done, but I already knew in my mind that it was going to be a very like a mischievous kind of character. Yeah, similar to Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Muttley is this kind of he's a sidekick to Dick Dastardly, but he's kind of mischievous on his own. He doesn't always obey, and he's got that constant laugh. And I wanted to bring that kind of spirit into the bat. So yeah, that's the origin for it, I guess.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah, the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon reference
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid, definitely, and my kids now are getting into that. So love the reference there. We got into the roadmap a little bit, right, with the staking of the blood token. There's also a call for Gen 2 breeding, a vampire hunt, a vampire meetup. Woof, give us the background. What can holders expect as part of the roadmap? Any timeline updates on Gen 2 maybe for us as well?
So, of course, we're doing the Gen 2 mint, which will be, I don't know, because of the current state of the market, we don't want to bring another collection so fast. So we might look to delay that if needed. And then we'll just try and create as much value for the Genesis collection, of course. So we're looking to do Gen 2, which will then come with breeding, which will be after that, because Meg has to draw the art. We have to settle on like what we're going to make as a result. Because we don't want to do just a simple like baby vampire stuff like that. So we want to do something cool. We can eventually do something with, which makes for another great roadmap item, for example. And then we're gonna do Gen 2 companions as the same way as our Genesis companions. We're planning to do in real life meetups once we're more established, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club one. That was really cool to see that come into action. And then we're gonna do some. Of course, we're gonna keep our community contest running, the art derivatives. It's cool to see what everyone does. And yeah, that's basically what we've planned right now. And obviously there's always stuff going around which is not on the roadmap. So the champagne wasn't on the roadmap. We have that game in development which was on the roadmap. And yeah, there's more to come.
Meg, walk us through, the Gen 2 development process and what this means for you as an artist to, have to create more artwork, a whole nother series here.
Well, I actually can't say much just yet. Right now, we're just formulating a lot of ideas, gathering info on what traits we want to do. But yeah, once I get going, then perhaps there'll be more sneak peeks. But until then, I don't really want to say too much. I want to blow the surprise.
That's perfect. Yeah, we always try to get stuff out, but we understand if we can't. So one of the things we do like to ask, and this can always be a tough question, right? Because it's like picking your favorite kid, is we talk about favorite traits, right? So going to the vampires, Woof, I'll start with you because maybe it's easier for you than the artist himself. Share with us, what are some of your favorite traits for the SVS series here?
So I think my favorite, well, I have my own, I think the shadow skin is one of the coolest we've done. Personally, even though it's not the most rare. And then I really like the holo glasses and the laser eyes, but this one doesn't have it now. Yeah, the holo glass, that was one of the things where we had to move our generation process entirely because they wouldn't export properly. So that I think that was like 2 days before we revealed or dropped the collection.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, yep, those are cool.
Those are dope. Yeah.
Perfect. And Mig, I mean, I don't know if this is a tough question for you. I'm assuming it is. But any favorite traits to call out for SVS here?
I think it's really hard to pick. I mean, those glasses that I did there, those triangular glasses, were from an anime called Gurren Lagann. And I really like the character who uses those glasses, and I love being able to add that into SVS. Another cool one was that actually on the right there, the laser moth.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our guys, 2D Vamp, came up with some of the traits, and one of them was a giant moth. And so I added the giant moth, and then I thought, why not give it lasers too? And so I just put it on there, and it works. So.
Love that. So one thing I wanted to touch on was community. So I kind of wanted to paraphrase this really quick about your guys' launch. So when you guys launched, people were able to mint 3 vampires. You guys wanted to keep it as organic as possible and have the distribution spread as possible from the beginning. So immediately after you mint, your unique holder percentage was around 52%, right? So we've seen the community, it's very spread out. There's not just big whales that own the project. There's over 45K on Twitter, over 30K on Discord. How do you manage the community, and what do you love about the community the most?
Well, we have a bunch of people who actually active all day in our Discord chat, which is amazing to see because they've genuinely they started talking to each other in the DMs actually. So it's great to see people connect with each other.
Nice.
Community managed wise, we have a team of mods to keep the chat intact. But there's not really that much need to moderate other than spamming invite links, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the community we have right now is actually really great, and it's one of our main success points, I think, to have an engaging community.
Absolutely. How active are both of you in the Discord?
Well, personally, I've been really busy myself working on everything around SVS, getting these partnerships and stuff. But so I haven't been around this much in Discord lately. But I used to be very active. But Mig is around daily to talk to people and joins these voice chats. We have a voice chat with one of our community members who is really good at investing, for example, and play to earn games like strategies. And he does a talk every Tuesday to talk about investment strategies and how helping people out. So that's something really great, which just came from the community, and we really like that because
love that.
That's how the community is supposed to work. They build each other and help each other.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you'll notice in a lot of the NFT projects in their Discord, a lot of the time the artist doesn't really interact with the community members, and I find that really weird. And it could be a sign of a rug pull, who knows? But yeah, I don't want to be a person that you can never contact, you can never interact with. I'm just this presence that's there. I just did the artwork and that's it. I want to be a part of the community. I love joking around with the people there. Love hanging around, listening to whatever they have to say. and they're really the lifeblood of any project. It doesn't matter what we do. Doesn't matter how many collabs we bring, how much new utility we bring to the project. If you don't have a strong community, then it's all for nothing.
Exactly. I love hearing that, man, because I've been in a lot of discords where, you know, the team comes on just when they want to shill stuff to see you guys active day in and day out, embraces the community. And I know you do weekly AMAs, which is super important. You know, I've been in Cool Cats. They do it every week, and I see the community rile up from that. So I love to see that. What do you guys think of the current Discord hacks? You know, are you guys taking any precautions towards that? You know, we've seen a lot of that in the last week or so.
Oh yeah, from day one we've locked our Discord down basically. So, but these hacks are, I feel like they just they bribe one of the members with some special permission. So a lot of these Discords they forget to like make it so mods cannot give people certain roles or announce in these general like admin channels, like announcements, for example, where it looks really official.
Yeah.
And they also forget to disable the create webhook permission, which allows you to send a message through a webhook to these channels as well. So from day one, we've basically locked everything down except for the admin members, and we've forced everyone with substantial permissions to enable 2FA. So that way, in case someone gets hacked by some sort of malware or keylogger, unless they get bribed, but then they don't have any permissions, they can't do anything which will harm the community.
Love to see it, man. Yeah, it's been crazy couple of weeks, man. I've seen so many Discords get hacked. It's been crazy.
Yeah, these people are getting really sophisticated with the way they work. Some people actually attempted the same thing on me. First by getting me banned from the BC Discord, and then they're going to pretend that they're staff from the BC Discord and attempt to fix the situation, and they'll try to get you to go either click on something or go on a video call, and once you click on the video, that's when you start getting phished or hacked, whatever. So just a reminder for everyone to stay vigilant and not click on anything. Always use a hardware wallet. Just be cautious.
Yeah.
Be suspicious.
Definitely great warning out there from you guys. It looks like people calling out Freddie XXXL in the chat. So I'm guessing that's a member of the Discord as well there. Want to talk a little broadly here. You mentioned maybe delaying a Gen 2 depending on the state of the market. Talk to us a little bit, where do you see the NFT market headed, right? We saw a huge demand. We saw this big wave, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback as, the Ethereum price goes up and the sheer volume of NFT projects increases. So, Woof, I'll start with you. Just overall thoughts on the NFT market.
So I think, of course, what you've noted, the Ethereum price going up has severely affected like the volume traded in NFTs as well. Because if you look at the gas, like constant, I haven't seen it drop under 100 Gwei in the past 2 weeks maybe. So it really, you lose so much value by just purchasing NFT right now from the like total price. So it has massively like dropped the volume of sales as well. And people are trying to get out, of course, because they want to ride the wave of the price increase, because they think, it's going to, let's say, like 10 grand. So they're trying to get out, and then that drops the floor price of maybe like I think I've seen every project go down so far.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I think the current state of the market, we're probably gonna see some more downside if Ethereum keeps going, and Bitcoin, of course. But I think eventually it will settle down and people will reinvest their money in NFTs, because right now a lot of like good projects are like on a discount.
Definitely. And Mig, any thoughts on the overall NFT market here?
Every project's floor has taken a battering. Like Wolf said, crypto is pumping right now, so NFTs are down, but what you'll see is the teams that are really dedicated to delivering on their roadmap and just continuing to push forward. Those are the projects that will outlast everything. There's a lot of projects that come out every day, and it's sad to say, but 95, 98% of them aren't going to make it. That's just the way it is. You need a good, strong team to just weather the storm and keep going, and that's what we're going to do.
Perfect. And, on that note, you mentioned that there are some projects, trading at a discount and some that, maybe you're fans of. So we always like to ask, towards the end of the interview, are there any, NFTs that you own that you want to call out, or projects that, you really like? I'll start with you, Woof. What NFT projects outside of SVS for you?
I don't really own that many other NFTs personally, but the one I really like is Kinesis art. It's one of these generative, programmed art. So it's like, I think it's like art block, but it's a little different because they're all animated and stuff. And another one is Eponym. It's I don't know if you heard about that one. It was this project where you put in any word, for example, and then AI generates an image. I think they used Google images, like the 10 search results, and then merged them together by the AI. And the results of them are pretty crazy. So that's the two NFT projects I have some of, and I look forward to seeing what they can do.
Awesome. And then Mig, as an artist, you mentioned you weren't into NFTs prior to, doing the artwork. Now that you're fully into the space, are there other projects that you collect, or anything you'd like to call out in terms of artwork here?
I actually still don't collect many NFTs. I only had 3 NFTs that I've purchased, and this week I gave them away because the sheer amount of people getting hacked and scammed really annoyed me. So I gave them away to people from our community just because, why not? They lost everything. Hopefully this little token will help get them back on their feet. So I don't have any NFTs right now, but and I don't really pay too much attention to other projects. I like to pay attention to the mistakes of other projects so we know what not to do. But if I were to name drop, I'd say I really like Deadfellas. I'm enjoying the artwork there. Yeah, so that's something that gets my attention.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Not everyone, collects all of them. You're a pretty busy guy, Meg, so we understand it.
I don't collect any. I don't even own any vamps. I don't have any base Cs. I don't have any goats. And my reasoning for that is, if I were to own a vampire, for example, that would effectively take away one person away from the community. And I'd rather have an active member of the community rather than owning a vamp myself. And there's so many great people in the community that, who knows, maybe that one person who joined the community because of me not owning a vampire turns out to be a celeb or someone who's really helpful to everyone, or just an overall good person.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, Maz, I think we've got some questions here from the chat and some followers of Benzinga. So I'll let you take it away here.
Absolutely. First of all, Mig, you are the people's champ, man. That is awesome.
Thank you.
We have a question from Scott here. He's asking, so what are the steps that you guys would recommend to a new project to secure their Discord?
So first of all, make sure except you, like the admin role, has permissions to access announcements, stuff like that. So most of the Discord hacks, someone will go to a moderator, give them like 10 grand to get access to their account maybe, or get some permissions to post in those channels, and they'll add everyone with a fake site to mint that project again, for example. So that's recently what's been going on in a lot of these Discords, and a lot of people are falling for that. So make sure nobody has access to any like substantial official channel to post in there, except like maybe the team or like you only as the owner of the Discord. And make sure moderators don't have access to create webhooks or manage roles. So that's one of the most steps you can take. And eventually, when you're big enough, if you apply to Discord as a Discord official partner, it will force everyone to 2FA. So that's another great step you can take eventually.
Love that. Do you guys think some projects are taking bribes, considering how frequent these are happening, or is it just the same thing over and over that people are falling for?
Well, it seems to be the same person. I've been following this person on Twitter. Let me find his name. So his name is NFT Herder, and he posts these threads on these Discord hacks, and it seems to be the same person every time who's been pulling off these hacks recently in this Discord. So either they're falling for the same bribe, like the moderators, or they're being hacked. So by the same, like maybe a piece of malware, they click like a link. I don't know what the attack vector is here.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah. And it's really a bad situation for the project as well, because you lose so much trust in the team if people lose money to you through like a scam like that, if you don't like take time to properly secure the Discord as well.
Exactly. And Migs, you said that you gave some NFTs away to some of the SVS community. Did some of them get hacked through other projects they were in?
I'm not sure. I don't really know the full details of what happened. I just felt really bad for them. So yeah, I just want to do a little something. You know, I don't have much. I'll just give them something to get them back on their feet.
Yeah, amazing. All right, let's see. Chris, I think, is there more questions from the chat here?
Yeah, so we've got this question from D-Bone in the chat. What are some of the other pop culture Easter eggs we can find in the SVS bats?
Usually I like to encourage people to just look at the artwork and discover for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Easter eggs, sometimes you can't give everything away. So
yeah.
maybe you can share maybe one thing to look for.
One of my favorite traits from the bats was creating a Walkman that if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord has a Walkman that it's super ancient, and I wanted something like that to be kind of a successor trait to the headphones that we have for the vampires. So I created a Walkman pretty much inspired from Star-Lord's Walkman, but I couldn't use. We might get DMCA'd by Sony or something, so I couldn't use the exact name. I changed it to SVS Wingman instead.
Perfect. Well, thanks for sharing that, D-Bone. There's your answer. You might have to look for the rest, but look for that Walkman.
Absolutely. So we have another question here from Scott, who wants to know, for new people coming into the NFT space as investors or collectors, what's the best way for them to do research and find quality projects versus avoiding scams or quick cash grabs?
So there's a couple red flags, obviously. So first of all, if I were to invest in a project, I would look at maybe like any of their like team members to see if they're well established, of course. So, and maybe look at their website. Maybe so a lot of these like scams recently, they tend to just mint and then run off, for example. So it's really hard in the NFT space. It's not as simple as like checking a crypto rug pull. So in an NFT space, a lot of people try to jump on the hype because it's this one-time event where you can buy in this NFT like at a really low price. So a lot of people tend to not do like their research because the event is going to happen anyway, and there's so many people getting in. They're trying to flip it. But the thing is with NFT project, you're only gonna see whether it's a rug pull, like most definitely, or like in the future, because it's whether they're gonna work on the project in the future or not. So it's a bit harder to do here than in a normal token. For example, a token you're buying into. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
I've seen
selling it's
Yeah.
gonna be harder because you can't just go to Uniswap and sell it there, but you have to actually find a buyer.
Exactly.
So that's another factor you can look at.
Yeah, and I've seen projects, they sell out, and then these devs, they go to another project and they launch it and another one, and they repeat the cycle, and they just sell out and just kind of leave the community, sell out, leave the community. So it's interesting to see. Hopefully we start taking more, doing more research before just jumping onto the hype,
Yeah, it's the Wild West out here, and I think what Wolf said is you should really do some research on the team. That's exactly what I did before I joined the team. So before joining SVS, I was screening a lot of proposals to me, and a lot of people wanted me to join their project. And one of the deciding factors of joining SVS was choosing the right team who were well established, who had a good Twitter presence, and just the team that could get the job done. And I chose correctly. And so always do a bit of research on the team members, and but other than that, just always be cautious.
Perfect. Well, guys, thanks so much for sharing insights into SVS, what's to come, and also, just the advice for NFT people out there, right? That's something we really wanted to do with this show, was bring the interviews to talk about big projects, but also, provide that education segment for people maybe new to the NFT space. And I definitely think we shared some education today via you guys in terms of what to look for in projects, and also, managing a Discord. So shout out to both of you for that. But, we look forward to following this progress. It's far from over. Gen 2 coming. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. So Woof and Mig, thank you so much for, taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us today.
Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure to talk with you and just share our knowledge on everything we know about crypto and NFTs. And just stay vigilant out there. It's the Wild West, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We appreciate you and the SVS community. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we will love to have you guys back when, it gets closer to the next event. So thank you both.
Yeah, definitely we'll be back, I think. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right, see you out there, guys.
Shout out to Mig and to Woof for joining us today on the show. And also shout out to the SVS community showing up in full force, Maz, in the chat. Some great questions there. The question from Debo, and of course about the Easter egg, traits. I love that. Loved hearing about the Guardians of the Galaxy reference there. I loved hearing about the artwork, right? So the inspiration, from some different cartoons. So this was a fun interview and an exciting project with a lot to come, Maz.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to see these authentic projects that are really here for the community and not just trying to, cash grab everything. You can see it in the way they, represent themselves. And Mig, the artist who doesn't own any NFTs, who'd rather, give his SVS to someone else that can be a part of the community. Really great guys, really great community. I'm excited for them, and I cannot wait to see the progression over the next couple months, years.
Definitely. I can't even get all these comments up on the screen because they're coming in fast.
Only Fangs, baby.
Only Fangs. Also, we got to call out here, Maz, that we should come join one of the AMAs. So we might have to try to set that up with SVS. So, Maz, another great interview here. We got more great interviews coming up this week. Before we leave today, let's get into some news and headlines, right? We didn't do a show last week, so we got a full week. but also we saw, you know, the NFT market trading a little bit slower, right? So we still have some big news out there though, but the thing we always like to start with, right, is the top 10 weekly
10.
sales volume leaders. So I do this article for Benzinga every Sunday, and it's based on data from Crypto Slam, which tracks NFT sales volume. So no surprise, Maz. I know you're not going to be surprised by this one. Number one in sales volume last week, Axie Infinity, $113.2 million in sales volume, and then followed by CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then a couple of projects on the Wax blockchain, which actually was a surprise, Farming Tales and Farming World. Then followed by Art Blocks. We, of course, had, you know, Snowfro from Art Blocks on the show 2 weeks ago. And then the one I want to talk about here, though, 8th place last week, up 125% in sales volume, Shiboshis, right? This was the project that launched using Doge Killer, also known as Leash, which is the second coin in the Shiba ecosystem, which we've seen, you know, SHIB, the coin absolutely ripping. So this was a 10,000 NFT project. It had a sliding scale for the pricing, Maz. I don't know if you saw that. The first 3,000 for 0.1 ETH, the next 5,000 for 0.2, and the last 2,000 for 0.3. And if you owned Leash, you got early access to this. It sold out pretty fast. We saw high gas fees. But this was in mid-October, and now the floor price on this project has ripped. I mean, when I wrote about it, it was 1.7. Then I did an article, it was 1.9. And when I looked today, 2.25 ETH floor now on Shiboshis. And the top sales, we had 250 ETH sales. If we can get those up on screen, the Batman and the Iron Man based Shiboshi. There it is right there, Maz.
That's pretty cool.
Did you know this project, Maz? And what do you think about Shiboshis here? You think because it's the first really one tied to, you know, the SHIB coin that it's getting all this attention all of a sudden?
You know, it's funny. I heard it. I didn't really look into it till right now. These are pretty cool. And I do like the connection to the Shiba coin. Yeah, I mean, it's holding its price fairly well. And as far as art goes, they're pretty cute. They fit that PFP style that's trending right now. I like them.
Yeah, I mean, this should have been one where I think everyone could have predicted, right? As SHIB gets hot, it looks like this NFT project is going to follow along. So it's definitely on my watch list based on the strong community behind the coin.
Absolutely. You know, so speaking of community, NFT Fest, you know, is starting this week or this weekend. It's been going on. So I don't know if you guys saw the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They had an actual yacht. And, you know, the party looked really awesome. You know, people were partying on the yacht. It's great to see the community come together. There's a couple videos and pictures on Twitter. And, man, I have FOMO from it. It just looks like a great time.
It does. It looks like a full-on party, right? And I really liked, you know, I had some big FOMO, Maz, you know, not being able to be there. And we saw it not just Bored Apes, right? But a bunch of different NFT projects, you know, just really rallying around this event. Right? Bringing your community together, bringing your teams there to meet your community. And then, yeah, I mean, who could forget the party on the yacht, right? Bored Ape Yacht Club, a full-on party on the yacht. Also, I saw some billboards, right? We always talk about, you know, the Times Square billboards, right? That cost a lot of money, but get a ton of eyeballs on them. We saw some NFTs featured on those billboards. I know our friends from Robatos were actually on those billboards throughout the event. And I know that they traveled to New York as well. So there it is right there on the billboard. Shout out to the Robatos team.
You know, I wonder if this starts scaling up to like a Comic-Con style, you know, as the years go by. You know, people come with their communities. They represent, you know, the Bored Apes, Robatos, Cool Cats. And it's just a cool time meeting people in real life when we just talk digitally every day. So I love seeing it.
Yeah, I think definitely a trend to watch. The big question is, you know, will it be, you know, annual events, you know, for NFTs all together? Will it be for one event at a time? Will we see some regional events as well, right? That's something with Comic-Cons is you kind of see them spread out throughout the country. are the big cities like New York, big meeting places like Las Vegas, are those going to be the places, to host these events? But exciting times for meetups. And speaking of Bored Ape Yacht Club, Maz, I don't know if you saw this, but the cover of Rolling Stone, right? We talked recently about Cool Cats getting a collaboration with Time Magazine. Now you have Bored Ape Yacht Club on the cover of Rolling Stone. I mean, and a full featured article inside the magazine talking about this. If you're out there and you didn't think NFTs were mainstream yet, I mean, if you're a musician, you always dream about being on the cover of Rolling Stone. and here you have now an NFT on it. What do you think, Maz? This is a sweet looking cover.
Dude, I mean, it looks awesome. Straight up, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're like the rock stars of the NFT world. And this, Rolling Stone cover kind of embraces that. I thought it was really cool. Love the cover. I love seeing more people, buy apes. I saw a couple of rappers, they made it their profile picture. So again, we see more and more celebs start, buying these profile pictures and making it, their identity. I think it's great.
Definitely.
So speaking of, we talked a little bit earlier with the SVS team, Discord hacks. There's been a lot of Discord hacks, and I think we should talk about, what to avoid, when these projects do get hacked by, however they're getting hacked. What's happening is they're posting a link and people are minting through a fake website and just sending them ETH, and they're just rug pulling. So, what are the best tips that we can recommend, Chris, for people watching to avoid, these scams that are happening consistently now?
Yeah, I mean, I really loved hearing from the SVS team, right? Talking about, the Discord safety. And I think the biggest thing, anyone who's been in Discord for a while, you see the sheer volume of messages that you get sometimes, right? And a lot of them are invite link spam, right? Where people need, a certain number of invites to get on the whitelist of a project. Those aren't necessarily a hacker, right? It's someone, most likely trying to get you to join a Discord, but also remember that those links are coming from someone you've never met. So I would always caution that, I would try to join a Discord, find a community, and you can talk about upcoming projects there. And it's a lot safer rather than just clicking on links from people. Then the other big thing, as Mig and Woof said, right, is that most of these projects, their announcement channel, right, is the one that's locked just to the admin, and pay attention to that, right? They're going to update and they're going to say, hey, this is our mint date, right? This is when we're going to mint. If all of a sudden, you're getting messages saying, hey, minting is live and it's 3 days before the project's supposed to mint, that should be an immediate red flag, right? Unless if it was announced and you really know that that's true, it's not a stealth drop, right? This is someone looking for you to connect your wallet to that site. And, unfortunately, you could be a victim in this way. So I would stay away from the messages you get in Discord, and make sure you're following and know that it is the admins posting in announcement channels to stay safe.
Absolutely. And they try to get you to mint emotionally, right? They create this sort of FOMO of mint now, stealth drop, get right away. So you don't really think about it twice. And I've realized that now, especially since the market's been slower, is we should take our time when we mint. We shouldn't just rush into things just because, you get this sense of FOMO. It's okay to miss things, especially considering the environment we're in, where, there's so many scams going on a day-to-day basis. Take your time, do your research. There's always opportunities out there. Don't ever feel like you're missing out, because we've seen people lose, a substantial amount of ETH coming into the NFT world. And imagine if they're new, they're more susceptible to it, and they may just have a bad experience and not come back, so.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate part, Maz. You hit it right on the head there at the end, right? Is the most likely victims of this are the newer people. And with that being said, it could mean two things. Either A, they probably don't have a ton of liquidity, right? So if they mint out on one of these fake projects, they might not have money left to get into other projects. And then on the flip side, it also may turn them away from NFTs completely, right? I mean, if I got hacked, if I was victim, I mean, I might just not want to pay attention to NFTs anymore, right? Because it's, an unsafe market. So it's important. And that's why we try to educate people on the show. So great insights, from us in the education, but also you heard it directly from a team today, right? So great segment there. Maz, I want to talk a little bit about some of the major brands, right? So we just mentioned, Rolling Stone, of course, having an NFT on their cover. But aside from that, we're seeing major brands actually launch NFTs now. And this is something that we thought was coming, for months, right? Some of these big media companies monetizing their intellectual property. So Disney announced a collaboration with Vive, right? They're going to launch NFTs from Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel, and Disney characters, on that leading mobile platform. We have Hasbro is launching Power Ranger NFTs, right? Capitalizing on that brand that they own. Mattel, which owns Hot Wheels, they're launching Hot Wheels NFTs, right? Similar to Funko, where you collect the digital, the NFTs, and if you get a certain rarity, you actually get the physical version of the Hot Wheel as well, which is what Funko did, right? If you got the Chase version, you get mailed a physical Funko that you can only get from the NFT collection. And then, Maz, we got news this week that one of the largest companies, most well-known brands in the world, right? McDonald's is getting into the NFT game. There it is, the McRib NFT, and these are limited. You can't just go and buy these. They started a sweepstakes today through November 7th, where you can enter and only 10 people will be awarded this NFT. I'm going to go ahead and drop the article I wrote on this in the chat. So if you're interested, you can see how you can possibly, win one of those NFTs. Also on screen, you can see right now the rules and how to enter. But Maz, those are some big names, right? Disney, Mattel, Hasbro, and now McDonald's. I mean, it looks like we are going to make it, right?
Absolutely. I love seeing it. And I definitely retweeted that post, and shout out McDonald's. If we win, I already told Art Chick I'm taking her out to get McRib. So hopefully we win.
There you go. There's the clout right there with the McRib NFT. Think of all that you can do with that. I love that.
Exactly. So moving on, Chris, I don't know if you saw last week, there was a huge sale for a CryptoPunk. There was a CryptoPunk that was purchased for $530 million last Thursday night. So this broke headlines on Twitter, right? So we saw that, everyone was like, whoa, freaking out. But crypto Twitter was quick to point out that the sale was from an authentic CryptoPunk 9998. So yeah, they kind of pointed out that they sold it to themselves. They were able to get a loan. They paid it back right after the sale, and it just kind of made headlines, and it created this new all-time high price for the CryptoPunk. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I mean, this I think is the unfortunate side of NFTs, right? And, we see it in crypto, we see it in NFTs, where there's always going to be talks about, regulation. And I don't love seeing this, because I think it draws more attention to possibly getting regulation involved, which is one of the things that's been nice about, NFTs, being able to operate on their own. But I mean, a huge red flag, right? That this was a record price of over 124,000 Ethereum. Yeah. When the previous record for CryptoPunks was 4,200 Ethereum. I mean, that's a huge jump. We've seen some records this year, but not of this level. But on the flip side, we did see CryptoPunks trending on Twitter, so we did get some attention to NFTs, but I think unfortunately it was the wrong kind of attention. I didn't love this headline and news, because again, I think it's a bigger negative for the space than I would have liked to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw a couple, people on YouTube that don't normally talk about NFTs bringing this up, and they don't understand NFTs, and what they were saying is just kind of it's a bad look, from someone on the outside looking in. I see it as a publicity stunt. They wanted people to talk about their specific punk. But yeah, it's not a great look overall, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, and then I actually see a comment here on that note from Teals Peels in the chat. I did actually see this headline as well, Maz, that there was a punk listed for 4.4 ETH on a most likely fat finger. But that is another topic too. We saw this with Bored Ape, where there was one sold for a significantly low price. And the question is, Is it a fat finger or is it a possible tax wash
Yeah.
sale? So there's kind of this debate going on. What do you think of the low prices here? Is that a fat finger or is it a tax benefit here?
Man, it's hard to say, but I can see the benefits of it, from a tax perspective. You accidentally fat finger and someone else buys it. We don't know who that someone else is. That's where the mystery lies. I would hate it for it to be a fat finger because that would really hurt. I'm not sure, but both suck.
Yeah, definitely. And then, Maz, another interesting topic, and we could probably go on this one for a long time too, but just for anyone out there who doesn't know, we saw the floor price of an NFT project get pretty much wiped out over the last 24 to 48 hours, and that is Jungle Freaks. So this was a highly anticipated project, and one of the big reasons that people were drawn into this was that a former artist for Hustler was behind the artwork for this project. And we also saw a lot of, celebrities and NFT, influencers, let's say, right, rally behind this project before the mint. So the floor price went up a ton. Last night, it actually hit 0.15. It looks like it's recovered a little bit to 0.3 now. But the reason was because decades ago, the artist who's attached to this project, George Treasley, he drew some rather, let's call them racist cartoons, right? Yeah. And I don't want to get into the debate of, what makes a racist cartoon. But the debate I wanted to get into is, how much influence one person can have on a project. You mentioned it a little bit during the interview, Maz, when developers leap from one project to the next, what it can do to a floor price and the community, right? Well, what about something like this where now there is just a negative cloud over this project? Can it recover, or can one person, ultimately just doom an NFT?
I think we still see volatility in this project. We'll see some highs and lows because there's just so much money to be made. And, people can skew the narrative however it benefits them monetarily, right? So I'm sure people holding this project are trying their best to, damage control it. As soon as they sell, they may switch sides. But I will say that I don't, anything that's, racist towards anything it's something I don't mess with. So I personally will not, touch that. But I do think people will still take the opportunity to buy and sell this project.
Yeah, that's a great point, right? And it turns into a moral one for, some people.
100%.
I'm with you, right? Where I just kind of want to distance myself from this project. I was never in it. But, here in the stock market world, we talk about buying the dip, right? And that's a term that passed on to cryptocurrency and now NFTs. And you could have bought the dip yesterday. But again, I just don't know if this project is going to have lasting power now with this negativity. And a lot of the NFT influencers that, were involved with this project, they've also distanced themselves, which, isn't a great look. So we wish the best for teams, but, I just don't know if this one is going to have as bright of a future as originally predicted.
Exactly. And the big thing with crypto and NFTs, decentralized and, kind of against cancel culture, I do think that we can all make the decision whether we agree with it or not. I personally don't. I won't buy the project. I won't talk about the project, but, people are still free to do what they want. So we will see what happens. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Always do your research is what I'll say. You can figure it, because I'm sure if you Googled the artist, how quick was it to find that? So people may have not looked because, again, monetarily incentivized. I'm not sure, but always do your research. In other news though, Chris, Ethereum hit an all-time high today, man. It just keeps on pushing. Gas keeps going high. Oh man, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this weeks ago, right? How Ethereum hitting all-time highs, great for anyone who's invested in Ethereum, bad for the NFT market, right? And you heard Woof and Mig talk about that too, right? How when the price of Ethereum goes up, it impacts the prices of NFTs, right? Because the majority of them are based in ETH. I think until a pullback happens in ETH, I think we're just going to kind of see this current NFT cycle happening, right? Where people don't necessarily want to mint new projects and sacrifice their ETH when ETH could be headed to 5,000 sooner than later. What do you think, Maz? How close are we to 5,000? And what does a pullback possibly mean for NFTs?
For me personally, ETH is ETH for me still, unless I plan to take profits, one ETH is one ETH. What I think the biggest problem is the gas, right? The problem with the gas is that anytime you try to mint something, buy something, sell something, you're paying this enormous amount that's not going to the dev, that's not going to the team. It's just, being paid in gas fees. And I think that's been such a big disruptor in the NFT market so far. I mean, we've seen gas stay at over 100 for the last week and a half or so. But I do hope that ETH does stabilize. And again, we're seeing what's happening. We've never really been in the situation before. Hopefully ETH stabilizes, gas comes down a bit. And then we can start seeing the real, market demand for NFTs again. When ETH 2, man, we've been hearing about this for a while.
For a long time, right?
Yeah.
When is it actually going to happen? And, with that being said, and the high gas prices, Maz, I think that's something where, again, some of these other coins and platforms, like if they could really launch a great project that can, eliminate gas fees or lower them, now's the time to take Ethereum head on, because I think you could win some fans. I prefer the ETH-based NFTs because that's where I've always been, but I know some of these other platforms, have lower gas fees. But man, gas is brutal out there.
It is, man. I do hope that we see ETH 2 sometime. I mean, in the next hopefully year. But ETH is the place to be. The reason we're all still here in the ETH world, and that's the dominant factor, it's because it's the place to be. It's where the top artists, top projects are. So hopefully we do find a solution for this. But congratulations to anybody holding Ethereum for the last. I mean, I remember it was $600 last year. About a year ago. So congratulations. It's a great time to be in the crypto space. Great time to be in the NFT space. I'm excited for 2022.
Definitely. Well, Maz, I love our community and our fans out here. I don't know if you saw this comment here. I'll just throw that up there on the screen again, not to start a debate about McDonald's, but shout out to Hex in the chat for that great comment on the McRib NFT. Well, Maz, that's going to do it for today's show. And as I said, we've got some great interviews lined up, and we actually welcome back tomorrow.
And we're back.
A team that we've had on before, and I know there's some loyal fans out there. Maz, who's going to be on the roadmap tomorrow?
Tomorrow, that's a great point. I'm actually not sure. I haven't checked yet. Who is going to be on?
So we are welcoming back Crypto Dads.
Nice.
Right? So the dad team, we saw moms, right? The free mint of moms. So we'll be able to talk about moms and also what's ahead on the roadmap. So a very exciting one. Looking forward to this one. I own a couple dads and a couple moms still. So I'm excited. But I know we will have a lively chat like we did before, right?
Oh, yeah. One of the best communities from the get-go. I'm curious to hear their perspective now that we've been in somewhat of a bearish market for the last couple of weeks. So let's do it.
Awesome. Well, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Again, we had the team from SVS on. Shout out to Mig and Woof for joining us on the show. Great insight into their project, the artwork. I mean, one of the most well-known artists in the NFT space now in Mig. We also got to hear their thoughts on the NFT market overall, right? And Discord safety. I thought that was very, very important. We don't always get that behind the scenes from the teams. So shout out to them, and shout out to all of you in the chat, or if you are listening, this is also available on podcast. So shout out to anyone listening to this as a podcast. If you are, let us know. You can reach out at Benzinga. And we would love to hear from you if you are loving the podcast. But that is going to do it for us. We will be back 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And as I said, Crypto Dads back on the show. Thanks, everyone, and have a great